Hi, readers. My name is Dawn Hughes, and I'm the coordinator for Booktrib's Book Club program. I'm here today with Meryl Ain to talk about the evocative and enlightening new release, Shadows We Carry. This is a highly anticipated sequel to her award-winning Holocaust novel, The Takeaway Men. Shadows We Carry, which also just won an award, congratulations, is one of the books taking part in Booktrib's Book Club program for October. I know that was a mouthful. Thanks so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk to us, Meryl.
Well, thank you so much, Dawn. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm excited. So, without spoilers, we're just going to dive right in because we only have 5 minutes. So, without spoilers, what can you share about your novel that we wouldn't find on the jacket cover?
Okay, so very quickly, abortion in 1969, when the book begins, was illegal in the United States. Roe v. Wade, which has since been overturned, was upheld in January 1973. And Jojo, one of the fraternal twins, who are one of the main characters, finds herself with an unwanted pregnancy while she's in college. So that is not in there. Also, her twin sister Branca tries to pursue a career in journalism, and she faces sex discrimination during those times. There's also a Catholic priest who struggles with his conflicting roots. And in the book, there's a former Nazi, but he's got a whole family. He's been hiding in plain sight. And if you want to find out what happens to him and his family during the 70s and early 80s, please read the book.
Wow, that's actually quite a bit of some secret knowledge in there, some insider knowledge. That's fantastic. Thank you. The book, obviously, I mean, it sounds like a great read. I can't wait to add it to my list of books to read. But it sounds like it also has some underlying themes and messages. Why do you think this book is such a great book club selection?
I think it offers countless opportunities for meaningful book club discussions. With my first book, The Takeaway Men, it came out during the pandemic, and I actually did about 80 virtual book club discussions where I met with readers and we discussed the books. Now I've started doing them. I just had one last week, and they had so much to discuss. It was almost 2 hours, and finally the leader said, it's time for us to end. So it's got so many things that can be discussed. There's the question of sibling relationships. There's the question of DNA. Does it really matter? Are we responsible for the deeds of our parents? It talks about women's rights and, of course, family secrets. And I have a list on my website, merylain.com. If you want to go to it, I list 22 suggested questions, and I don't even think I scratched the surface.
Wow, I'm definitely going to go there after I read the book. I want to read that. That's fascinating, and good for you for, having after, when you're in the midst of writing a book and then being able to sort of pull out those themes afterwards. You don't write it with that in mind, obviously, but that's fantastic. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
We're going to veer off your book for a second, because once readers are finished with your book, they love recommendations. So I'd love to know what the best book you read, fiction or nonfiction, in the past year has been.
That's such a hard question, because I can read two books a week. I read a lot of books. To be a writer, you have to read as well. And that's like asking me to choose among my children who's my favorite. So that's a hard one. I would say the one that had most impact on me, where I have mentioned it to people, it's actually not a new book. It was published in 2014, and it's called The Ice Cream Queen of Orchard Street by Susan Jane Gilman. And it's a sweeping historical saga that begins in 1913 and it goes for 70 years. And the main character, I just love the main character. She is a very poor immigrant on the Lower East Side when it begins, and she turns into this big ice cream entrepreneur, and her personality is like a cross between Joan Rivers and Leona Helmsley, and it's just a delightful read. The author does a masterful job of giving an accurate view of the historical time period, with insights, humor, and pathos. And I just love that book, but I love many books.
No, but that definitely was a good description of that one. I mean, I'm adding that to my list right away, actually. I talked to someone a couple weeks ago who mentioned Lessons in Chemistry, and I know that book has been hot for a long time, but I didn't start it. And then last week I decided I was going to do it, and I'm loving it. So
yeah, that's on my TBR list. I also read one that sort of is a little scientific, The Lobotomist's Wife, and that was. Did you read that one? That
I
was
didn't.
quite gripping, also.
Oh, see, we could probably talk about books all day.
I can give you a whole list.
I might tap you for that later. But we do need to wrap this up. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
For more information about Meryl's award-winning book, please check out the book club page on the booktrib.com website. Thank you.
Thank you.